Welcome, everyone, to Empower Your English. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a name pretty much everyone on the planet knows, right? Lionel Messi.
Absolutely. Even if you don't follow football, you've heard of Messi, an absolute global icon.
For sure. And, when you think about his legendary status now, it's kind of wild to remember he had this huge challenge really early on.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Well, he was actually diagnosed with growth hormone deficiency when he was just 10 years old.
10? Wow. That could have ended everything before it even started, couldn't it? Especially for an athlete.
Exactly. Talk about overcoming the odd. So today, yeah, we're exploring his whole journey from those early struggles to the massive success and really digging into themes like humility and persistence.
Right. And we've looked at quite a bit biographical stuff, career highlights, and there's this really interesting article, too, that sort of analyzes his character, his impact.
Yeah, that article is great. So for you listening, our mission, if you like, is to figure out what key things led to Messi's unbelievable success and maybe, what lessons we can all take away. We want to be thorough, but keep it moving, keep it interesting.
Okay, let's do it. So let's go back. Back to the start. Rosario, Argentina. June 24th, 1987. That's where it all began.
And apparently even really young, you could see something special. Like he started playing for a local team, Grandoli, aged 6.
6. And get this, his first coach, his dad.
Yeah. Then he moved to Newell's Old Boys, a bigger club. And even there, his talent was obvious. But then came that big hurdle we mentioned.
The growth hormone deficiency at 10 years old. That must have been, well, terrifying for him and his family.
Totally. I mean, think about it. Your dream is professional football, and suddenly there's this huge question mark over your physical development.
It really puts his later achievements into perspective, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The resilience he must have had, even as a kid.
And this is where things took a massive turn. The family, they knew he had something special, but they also knew he needed this expensive treatment, so they made this huge decision
To move.
all the way to Spain, to Barcelona. And crucially, FC Barcelona saw his potential, even with the health issue.
Yeah.
And they agreed to pay for his medical treatment.
That's incredible. What a gamble for them. But also, what faith to show in a 10, 11-year-old kid.
It really was. And that wasn't just about the treatment, was it? It opened the door to...
Messi. Yeah. Barcelona's youth academy. Famous for producing, well, some of the best players ever. He joined when he was 13, so that's the real start of his European journey, his formal training.
It makes you wonder, what did they see in him back then? This small kid with a health condition.
Must have been something truly exceptional, even then. Okay, so fast forward a bit. 2004, he's 17.
Makes his debut for the first team. And then, the rest is history, as they say. 17 seasons with Barcelona.
17 seasons.
Yeah.
And the numbers, they're just mind-boggling. 672 goals in 778 official matches. Club's all-time top scorer.
It's insane. And not just him scoring goals, the team's success was just constant, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely dominant. We're talking 35 major trophies, like 10 La Liga titles, 4 Champions Leagues, 7 Copa del Reys. It was an era defined by Barca and by him.
And those weren't just tap-ins either, were they? So many crucial, beautiful goals.
Exactly. The quality was often just as staggering as the quantity.
And individual records. Okay, let's just pick one that always blows my mind. 50 goals. 50 in one La Liga season, 2011, 2012.
Yeah, that one's hard to even comprehend. 50 league goals. It just shows a level of consistency and, well, genius over such a long time. It's rare.
So rare. But, like all chapters, that Barcelona story eventually came to an end in 2021.
Yeah, that was huge news. A real shock, felt like. He moved to Paris Saint-Germain, PSG.
Mostly because of Barcelona's financial problems, right?
That was the main reason, yeah. It felt strange seeing him in a different shirt, didn't it?
Totally. But he still did well in Paris, didn't he?
He did. 2 seasons there, scored 32 goals in 75 games, helped them win the French league title, Ligue 1, showed his class even in a new setting.
Which requires serious mental strength, adapting like that late in your career.
Definitely. And then another big move in 2023, across the pond.
To Inter Miami. In the U.S. Major League Soccer, that felt like a massive moment for soccer in North America.
Oh, huge. The attention, the excitement, it just went through the roof. Suddenly, everyone is watching MLS.
And he didn't just show up for the paycheck either. He hit the ground running.
Didn't he just?
Yeah.
Leads them to the League's Cup title in his very first season, which was like the club's first ever international trophy. Talk about making an entrance.
He just elevates teams, doesn't he? Okay, we absolutely have to talk about Argentina, the national team.
Right, a different kind of pressure, a different kind of passion. He debuted way back in 2005. Been the main man ever since, really.
It was a long road with Argentina, lots of near misses, lots of heartache for him and the fans. Played in, what, 5 World Cups?
5 World Cups, yeah. And 7 Copa Americas. There were some tough losses in finals until 2021.
Ah, yes, finally winning the Copa America. That felt like a huge weight lifted, didn't it?
Massive. For him, for the whole country. You could see what it meant.
And then the big one, the absolute peak, Qatar 2022.
The FIFA World Cup, they won it, and he was deservedly player of the tournament. It was like the final piece of the puzzle.
The perfect ending. Well, almost, because then he went and won another Copa America just this year, 2024.
Yeah. He just keeps going. It's an incredible story arc. All that dedication finally paying off with those huge international trophies.
Okay, let's really try and grasp the scale here. The achievements, the logros and records, as they say.
Where do you even start? Okay, the Ballon d'Or. Award for the best player in the world. He's won it 8 times.
8. 8 times. It's just dominance. Pure dominance over more than a decade.
And most official titles won by any footballer ever. 46.
46 trophies. Just think about that. Across different leagues, different cups, national team.
And La Liga specifically. All-time top scorer, 474 goals. We mentioned the 50-goal season. It's just video game numbers.
Seriously. And even in Europe, the Champions League.
Mm.
He holds the record for most goals in one knockout stage, I think.
Yeah.
8 goals back in 2011-12.
Right. And then at the World Cup, that 2022 win, most goals in the tournament, 7. It's just achievement after achievement.
Amazing. Now, off the pitch, he seems quite different, right? Very private.
Yeah, very much so. Married to Antonella Rocuzzo, his childhood sweetheart, which is quite sweet. They have 3 sons, Tiago, Matteo, Ciro. They definitely keep their family life out of the spotlight, mostly.
Seems like a good way to handle that level of fame. And he does charity work, too.
Yes, the Leo Messi Foundation. It focuses on helping kids, mainly with health and education issues. So, giving back.
Which brings us nicely to his legacy, or legato, and those core ideas we wanted to look at. It's obviously more than just the stats, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. He's inspired millions through, well, sheer dedication, that quiet humility he often shows, and just an obvious love for the game.
And that connects to the article we read, the LionelMessi.pdf. It really drills down on humility and persistence being key.
Yeah, it argues those are kind of the foundations of his success, woven through everything he's done.
The article also talks about the underdog idea. Now, for listeners maybe wanting to boost their English, underdog is a great word. Can you explain it in his context?
Sure. An underdog is basically someone you don't expect to win, someone facing big disadvantages. So, Messi, being smaller, having that growth hormone issue, doctors apparently even said he might never play professionally. He was, in many ways, the classic underdog.
Right. Someone expected to struggle or even fail, but who achieves great things instead? Defying expectations? It's a powerful narrative.
Definitely. The article also mentions the phrase, let your work do the talking. That feels very Messi, doesn't it?
It really does. He's not flashy off the pitch, not boastful. He just goes out and performs, and the performance speaks for itself.
Actions over words. And another big theme, team ego. Team is greater than ego.
Which is so important in football. You can have brilliant individuals, but if they don't play for the team.
Exactly. And Messi, despite being arguably the best ever, is famous for his assists, for setting up teammates. He seems genuinely focused on the team winning, not just his own stats.
So when we talk about his legacy, another key vocabulary word, meaning what someone leaves behind, it's not just his records, right?
No, the article suggests his legacy is also about that team focus, about making teams better, inspiring teammates. It's a broader impact.
Now, the article brings up a really interesting little debate. It asks that age-old question, what matters more, natural talent or hard work?
Yeah, it presents 2 sides using these fictional characters, Alex and Sam. Alex argues it's all about the hard work.
Alex's point is basically, look at Messi's dedication, his persistence, overcoming the health issue, his team focus. That's the key. Hard work trumps talent.
Right, but then Sam argues, well, hang on, you can't ignore the unbelievable natural talent. That innate ability is just as crucial, maybe more so. You need that foundation.
It's that classic nature versus nurture thing, isn't it? So where does the article land on this? Does it pick a side?
Not really, no. It kind of suggests it's a mix, a synthesis. Like, yes, the talent is undeniable, it's clearly there, but without the incredible work ethic, the humility, the team focus, the talent alone wouldn't have led to this level of sustained success.
So Talent gets you noticed, but work ethic and attitude keep you at the top.
Something like that. The dedication is what turns potential into legendary status. It argues that the work and the character were just as important, maybe even more important for his longevity.
Makes sense. So we got those two great vocabulary words: underdog, someone expected to fail but succeeds, and legacy, what you leave behind. Very useful.
Absolutely. And the article even has a call to action.
Oh yeah, what's that?
It says, celebrate someone else's win this week.
Ah, I like that. Ties back perfectly to the team ego thing, recognizing others' success.
Exactly. It's about fostering that positive, supportive environment, whether it's in sports, work, or just life.
There's also a quote in there from Tony Robbins.
Right. The only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment.
Wow, that fits Messi's story perfectly, doesn't it? Overcoming physical limits, achieving things people couldn't imagine, all through commitment.
It really does. It suggests that our own mindset, our own dedication, is often the biggest factor in what we can achieve.
The article finishes with some reflection questions for us, for the listener. Things like, how can we apply Messi's humility and persistence in our own lives?
Yeah, and what role does teamwork really play in our own success, personally or professionally? Good questions to ponder.
And also, how can we celebrate others succeeding while still pushing for our own goals? Finding that balance.
It's about, I suppose, being driven, but also being gracious and supportive. A healthy kind of competition, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So wrapping this deep dive up, Messi's story, it really shows how facing big challenges early on can actually maybe fuel later success.
Definitely. And it just hammers home the importance of dedication, of sheer hard work. Talent is great, but it's not enough on its own. Not for this kind of long-term greatness.
And for me, the humility and the team-first attitude really stand out. In a world that's often about ego, that's quite powerful. You know, the real aha moment for me is still that resilience as a kid, facing that diagnosis and still pushing forward.
It's incredible. And it makes you think, doesn't it, that Tony Robbins quote, imagination and commitment. Maybe we should all consider, what impact do we want to have, and how can our own imagination, our own commitment help us get there, inspired by examples like Messi, but in our own way.
A really powerful thought to end on. Some great lessons there, beyond just football. Okay, that's all we have time for in this deep dive. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Great discussion. Until next time on Empower Your English.